Hi, I'm Arunati Banerjee, and I manage the digital business at payments company Finabler. Today, I'll be speaking about innovation in a time of crisis and the case for fintech. We are truly living in unprecedented times, and while people remained at home in response to COVID-19, consumer behavior shifted radically. Consumers opted to use grocery delivery services in place of visiting stores, stream movies in place of visiting theaters, attend virtual yoga classes rather than going to studios, and students stopped going to schools, transitioning to a virtual online learning environment. These changes have had an immediate and profound impact on the economy, the financial services industry broadly, and financial technology companies in specific. One can think of the COVID-19 crisis as a great accelerator for fintech innovation. If one remembers, the global financial crisis of 2008-9 saw the emergence of fintech itself. Financial technology, or the fusion of finance and technology, has emerged as a new model for financial innovation. Fintech covers a plethora of complementary technologies, including mobile networks, big data, cloud computing, distributed ledger technology, AI, and data analytics that jointly shape a broad spectrum of operations in the financial industry. The past few years have witnessed rapid growth in fintech. It has already left its imprint on a wide array of financial services, including microfinance, payments, personal finance, digital banking, insurance, wealth management, to name a few. The question is, what might the COVID-19 pandemic mean for fintechs operating today? Let me summarize here seven major trends and areas of innovation in fintech amid and beyond the crisis. Number one would be the expansion of collaboration strategies. An important outcome of COVID-19 for fintechs may well be the continued acceleration of partnerships with financial institutions. Fintechs that have developed cutting edge tech or products may be attractive acquisition targets or partnership opportunities for incumbent banks needing to innovate quickly but lacking the expertise and resources to do so organically. Before COVID-19, we were already seeing an increase in the corporate venture arms of the large banks actively buying up promising fintechs. As we emerge into the recovery and beyond, we can expect this to accelerate. The incumbent giants are likely to acknowledge that they need a greater degree of scaled collaboration with fintech players to bring more digitized services and benefits to their customers. Fintechs may also continue to look for partnership opportunities with other fintechs, big techs, and non-financial services firms. This partnership trend, including white-labeled fintech solutions, is expected to accelerate. Growth in open banking and banking as a service regulations and initiatives could play an important role here. This brings me to the second area of innovation, which is open banking and banking as a service, popularly known as BaaS. Open banking is a system under which banks open up their application programming interfaces for third parties to securely access consumer banking and financial data with their consent to develop new apps and services. Innovation and regulation are two of the most critical drivers of open banking. What started with the European Union Payment Services Directive, better known as PSD2, in 2018 has quickly picked up pace and is now in various stages of adoption in countries across the world. During the pandemic, we saw the launch of open banking in Australia under the Consumer Data Right Act overseen by ACCC. Open banking leads to innovation in multiple areas such as data aggregation or single view of customer, advice and analysis tools, banking and non-banking product offerings, etc. The period from 2020 onwards is being heralded as the openness era in fintech, wherein data aggregators will become all the more powerful. Mastercard's announcement in June of buying the data aggregator Finicity for nearly $1 billion mirrored Visa's news in January that it had agreed to acquire Plaid for $5.3 billion. Felicity and Plaid power thousands of fintech companies, a lot of other companies in this data aggregation space. Viz, Yodlee, Akoya, TrueLayer, Teller, Flinks, and Yapily are constantly innovating on their products with the objective of providing a seamless consumer experience in the end. Similarly, banking as a service is an interesting area seeing constant innovation. Payment fintechs face the product pressure to differentiate and hence have to offer banking products, example, checking accounts, investments, etc. Building the technology to offer these products can be very expensive. This is where the promise of banking as a service comes in to reduce both cost and time for fintechs. For example, payment company TransferWise's borderless account is powered by Galileo, one of the tech companies in the US that provides banking services via APIs and services 70% of top fintech companies. Other players in the space are Marketer, Bankable, and Synapse. The BaaS operators are constantly building a full suite of products, as can be seen from Galileo's partnership with Plaid to simplify ACH transfer setup. Open banking and BaaS will remain one of the most exciting places to innovate during the next 5 years. The third area of innovation in fintech would be financial inclusion, of course. Fintech enhances financial inclusion and broadens access to financial services by capitalizing on technological advances. It mitigates the risks and lack of information associated with underserved households and small and medium-sized enterprises via digital financial services and enhanced risk assessment skills. According to a recent study, digital financial solutions can address about 40% of unmet demand for payment services and about 20% of credit requirements for poor households and small businesses in Asia. Fintech's role as a driver of financial inclusion is especially pronounced in emerging markets. The role of fintech in improving financial inclusion comes to the fore during big economic shocks, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. In developing countries like Asia, fintech companies are coming up with innovative solutions to fund SMEs struggling to stay afloat amid the pandemic. They're providing new turnkey loan origination and underwriting platforms to allow banks and lenders to provide financing for small businesses. An example in the UK is that companies like TradeLedger, Wiser Funding, Nimbla, and Northrow have formed a business lending task force to provide a turnkey origination and underwriting platform that allows banks, alternative lenders, and private debt lenders to virtually and digitally deploy funds to businesses during the COVID-19 outbreak. Another attractive segment for fintechs is the gig economy workers, numbering more than 50 million in the United States alone. Given their inconsistent or unpredictable income patterns, gig workers typically have unique financial, insurance, and tax requirements. For this reason, they are generally underserved by banks, making them a growing opportunity for fintech firms. With rapid digitization of the lending and underwriting processes, we expect to see a rise in the use of real-time alternative data in the credit underwriting process. Alternative data includes information not typically found in traditional consumer credit reports or customarily provided by consumers when applying for credit, such as cash flow data derived from a consumer's bank account records that examines categories of income and expenses, as well as educational and occupational information, social media use, and other online or mobile activities. The fourth area will be innovation in the underlying tech infra powering financial services industry for decades. Tech infra are the tools, enabling technologies, and underlying infrastructure that financial services providers need to build, deliver, and maintain their products. Most financial services providers don't build or operate their own technology, but instead rely on a relatively small group of long-standing incumbent vendors. The likes of FIS, Fiserv, and Jack Henry power financial institutions for everything from their core systems to risk management to customer communications. The government-sponsored Paycheck Protection Program during the pandemic has exposed the inflexibility of legacy loan and digital banking systems. as many incumbents struggled to even create digital versions of PPP forms and capture the customer data required for the program. Government mandated mortgage forbearance and exposing the inflexibility of legacy mortgage software and historical reliance on manual Excel-based workarounds. The payment delays and website crashes that banks have suffered as they tried to manage government stimulus checks highlighted the issues in legacy tech infra. Digital transformation initiatives previously expected to take 2 to 3 years are now being given 12 to 18-month timelines. The need for modern financial technology has never been greater. Innovation in this area will accelerate technology capabilities of both incumbent banks and startup digital financial services providers. One such company challenging legacy tech infra is nCino, whose operating system provides a single platform for onboarding, loan origination, and account opening for more than 1,100 financial institutions, including banks and credit unions. Interestingly, the stock rocketed 150% after the fintech's IPO in July. The fifth area is the final arrival of digital banking, leading to the possible advent of big tech in banking. Some reports indicate digital banking usage is up approximately 35% during the crisis. A survey also indicated a 67% jump in customers considering a digital bank as primary bank in July 2020 versus Jan 2020 in the US. Based on the number of customers, Chime, a digital bank, is now a top 10 US bank with 4.3 million customers. Fintech Varomoney received a rare national bank charter in the US in July. Traditional banks have historically opposed such charters. I believe that digital banking will become the new norm, particularly the longer the pandemic lasts. This will also lead to the advent of big tech in banking. With the rapid shift to an almost entirely digital banking experience, we believe there will be a continued increase in partnerships between financial institutions and big tech companies for the provision of technology services and infrastructure. Example, AI, cloud computing, and data analytics. This will result not just in the big techs becoming the preferred third-party vendors to banks, but in big techs becoming intertwined in financial regulation as part of the financial infrastructure. The sixth area would be fintech innovation in fraud prevention. Given booming digital payments induced by the pandemic, there is an increase in fraud, particularly synthetic identity fraud. The virus has brought a rise in fraud and cybersecurity incidents as fraudsters seek to exploit lockdown, meaning that businesses offering new tech solutions in that space will thrive. Security of personal and confidential commercial data will remain vital. Fintechs will continue to grapple with the conflicting interests of increased innovation and data security and data privacy. Those that succeed will win consumer confidence. Seventh, and the final area of innovation, would be linkages between financial services and healthcare. With so much heightened awareness of the importance of health and well-being, I believe we will also see increasing links between financial services and healthcare, with customers looking to safeguard and provide for themselves and their families. This could be another fruitful area for fintechs and insurtechs with smart new solutions. In conclusion, in every crisis lies an opportunity. New technologies, new providers, and new ideas will be born out of this crisis, and well-suited industry participants will emerge stronger to address the revised economy. Till then, this is Arundhati Banerjee signing off. Thanks for listening to this podcast, and please stay safe and keep well.